Revelation 3:20. Here I am, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat that person, and they with me.
I just knocked on your door. What the?
Well, maybe I'm already in Bible study and I don't need God, sir. So you don't need to stay at my door.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll leave. Fuck.
Sir, this is McDonald's.
Do you think God would play Cursed Halo?
Yes, I think
Yes.
so. Alright, guys.
He already does.
Welcome to the Art Phenomenon podcast. I can't even talk right now. Shit. With your host Ramos and our co-host Richard. Introduce yourself.
Hi. And our co-host, Mr. Weird.
Wired. Alright, get that right.
Mr. Weird 98.
And then we have a special guest today, Nuker. Hello, Nuker.
Hi guys, I'm retarded.
Yeah, same. So, have you guys seen that new Black Ops game? You like how?
Yeah, it's awful.
You like how the UI is basically the same shit UI with the last few games?
You know, it's what that is literally like they had people that made like the Hulu UI make that.
Oh yeah, the Hulu.
Yeah, that's why it literally looks like Hulu, like identically.
I actually did not know that.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's basically just games just start up with ads now. Like it doesn't even start with the game; it's just ads. Pretty
It's
much.
literally ads for like the battle pass of the game. Yeah.
And it takes you about 5 minutes to figure out how to find a match.
Oh god, yeah, no, so fucking. The first time I used that UI was such a pain in the ass. I didn't know how to do anything. I didn't know how to do a custom like match or anything, man. It's so annoying.
Yeah,
I think it's really surprising that they're making another Black Ops game. I thought they ruined it previously by like retconning the guy dying from Black Ops 2.
Yeah. Well, you know, like with how Hollywood is, like you could say they're technically just like creatively bankrupt right now, and same with games, like where they just keep doing remakes and rehashing stuff because they're like they literally just can't come up with new ideas, or they literally just don't want to experiment or anything with new ideas because it'll just cost them money when they could just literally just rehash the same thing and it would still profit.
Literally.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true.
Because like,
which is why Black Ops is still going on. It's so crazy to me. I think it's the 6th entry, right?
Yeah. It's like what is it? Game like 15 or like 18 or something?
Oh yeah, for like the overall series.
It's like insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I also hate the fact that basically all the passion for like the game is gone. Like you can tell from the UI itself, they just go with the minimalist bullshit. Like you said, from the people that made the Hulu interface and they just brought that over, compared to how they used to be, where it was very like themed towards the actual game. Yeah, there's a lot of like World at War especially was like a dark atmosphere when you got into the main menu. And
even like the backgrounds would change based on what you selected. Like if you selected like I remember like Black Ops 2 specifically, if you selected multiplayer, it starts showing like in the background and show all the soldiers, like all the random factions. If you selected zombies, it would literally have like, the zombies type background with the, planets all messed up and everything because of the story and all that. And then like when you pick campaign, it'd have like any of the main characters from the story just in the background. They don't even really do that sometimes.
Yeah. They just do the multiplayer thing of your multiplayer character walking towards the screen pointing the gun. That's so fucking lame.
But like look at like Concord as an example. That's like, think about this. That's the first time they tried to do something different, and look at how badly it just died because that's what I'm saying. They don't experiment because when they do, it's like games like that, and they just die immediately. Like that game was like a $400 million failure.
It's a really big gamble with shit like that. They're just like hoping, this is the fucking game.
Yeah,
that will
and they
succeed.
know they don't have the balls to make something good, so they just don't. Like,
yeah,
I mean, Concord wasn't really experimental either, though, because it was trying to be a hero shooter.
That's true.
But
And it was like kind of late to the scene, which is I think it's like greatest fault.
Overwatch 2 is the same thing, but you didn't have to buy it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think it's experimental. I think it's just like it has a different skin. It was a very expensive like version iteration.
You
of
know
that
what?
Kind of
I want to say it is experimental because instead of making pretty heroes, they made ugly as fuck heroes. So I want to say in that regard, it is experimental.
Okay, but what
What's
can we
your
learn from
favorite
this?
hero?
What can we learn from this? If your heroes are good enough to make porn, the game's gonna live on.
Yeah,
it's gonna live on.
it's
Even if it lives on
right.
off the stick.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, yeah.
So who's your favorite hero?
I don't think Concord's characters are good enough for porn.
Wait, okay.
No.
In that regard, would you say that TF2 characters are good enough for porn?
Oh, I don't think I should answer that.
Yeah, but here's the problem: they're men. So
they're men, yeah. So it's gay.
Well, you're only tapping into one market, unless you do the Rule 63 of all the characters that they do, where it's like Femme Scout and whoever.
Pyro and shit.
Yeah. Unless you do that, then maybe you'll get some. I mean, no. Actually, yeah, with TF2, like, look at all like the pyro mods that. Or like the pyro inflation mods. Like,
oh god, shut up.
So yeah, TF2 does have an appeal, you're right.
Dude, okay, and then they, not only did they do it to pyro, they fucking turned the sentry gun that didn't have any, it was literally a machine.
Oh yeah.
They turned into a woman.
That's
oh, they did! I remember that shit. It's so stupid.
But anyway, that goes into kind of a good discussion about art design, because that kind of coincides with the UI thing. Because what I was arguing before was I pointed out how like new UIs are basically just streamlined. They're basically trying to be the same thing, right? They're like minimalist. But like old games, they used to have, each game was like tailor-made, had its own UI that was incorporated with the art style. Like if you look at like old strategy games and stuff, like your cursor is different and everything.
Yeah,
and it's like,
yeah, that is true.
Yeah, like they used to incorporate it with the art style, and it was cool because it adds that little extra feeling.
It gives that immersion.
Or if it's like a World War II strategy game, or even like just a World War II game in general, like World at War, even like your cursor and stuff is different. The sounds of the UI, boxes moving whenever you scroll and stuff, they all make different noises and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They don't really do that anymore. It's just like they just have a blank like box or something that's just the same as every other game.
Yeah, they really don't do them like they used to, honestly.
Yeah.
There's no passion. I mean, it's kind of hard for them to have passion for the game when it's just literally contract workers that they hired in, and then after like a couple months...
I've heard about that, yeah. I don't know, like... That's kind of also just the fact of, like, you just have all these big corporations with big studios now, so they don't really, like... The studio's just gonna look at it from a monetary perspective. They're not really gonna look at it from an artistic perspective. They're just gonna be like, okay, this guy has pretty good credentials. He worked at like EA or something. We're gonna hire this dude just because of that. Like, we're not hiring this dude because he's got a vision for a game. We're just hiring this dude because he's good at his job.
Yeah,
that's kind of it.
Cough Xbox with their whole fucking
like all of the. Yeah, like all the big game companies that had like big massive visions was usually just like a small team. Like look at Valve making Half-Life. Valve was like a team of like 10 people when they made Half-Life or something. Yeah, it was like barely anyone. And then the same thing with Bungie when they made Halo. It was only a few people.
Yeah, it was the same thing too, was like Doom and Quake.
That was literally like 2 people. Like literally, like John Romero was a game designer, and he was like a level designer, and he was like him and like John Carmichael were like both. Yeah, those 2 were the main ones who made Doom. Just 2 people.
Yeah,
2 people made that game.
Instead, now you have like 1,000 workers just working.
Yeah, and they suck.
Get it out. Yeah, and they yeah.
Every time they want to change something, we gotta contact our supervisor. We gotta agree.
And then you have like, we haven't even mentioned like the Sweet Baby Inc. like type stuff where it's like they have like literally these people, like these shareholders and things that will like funnel the money based on certain incentives, like, oh, include this amount of black characters, include this amount of whoever, like,
Yeah.
and so it just muddies the waters even more about like the art style and everything. It just makes it even worse.
Yeah.
I sometimes hate companies when they fucking destroy a franchise too. Like,
Yeah, and they keep like holding on to the same franchise, like they keep making the same thing. They don't do anything new with it. They just keep rehashing like the same characters. Like, look at all the new Star Wars like movies. The only times they introduce like new people is literally just to be like a throwback.
Yeah.
And that's like it. They don't really like elaborate further. They just kind of keep going with the same story.
It just continues on and on
Yeah.
and on.
It's
until,
like not new.
Yeah. Or like with fucking Dragon Age Reborn or some shit. I forgot what was it called.
Oh yeah, the
Vanguard.
Yeah, no, not
Yeah.
Vanguard. Something like
Value Guard, whatever.
Yeah, something like that. And then I heard about that shit. I'm just like, bro, they just literally ruined it. Like the first 3 games or the original games that they had, they were fucking badass as shit. Like
I never played any of them. I just heard that the new one.
Cool.
I've seen the new one with like literally like the ogre woman sitting down and being like, I'm non-binary or something. It's like, what? you have like a fantasy game and it's like, huh?
What?
Like
Why?
Why is that even?
This? What?
Yeah, it's just
Makes
it's
no
like
sense.
so jarring. It's so weird. It's like you're just.
They did the same thing with the fucking Saints Row games too. The last one. They literally had him sitting around a table talking just like fucking nonsense and nothing.
Oh, wasn't there? Didn't they remake the Dead Rising games recently? Like Dead Rising 2 and 1.
Oh, they remastered it.
They
Yeah,
remastered the remaster. They literally just released the remaster not that long ago.
Yeah, and I've heard that it's heavily censored. Like,
it is now, yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
It's not like how it was
What's
originally.
with that?
Yeah, they took all the minorities out, so. No! I actually don't remember. They changed I think they actually blackified some characters and got rid of Asian characters or something like. It was really weird what they did.
That is weird.
So they just butchered the game.
They basically butchered the characters, yeah.
Oh my god.
Frank
Yeah.
West looks like a fucking troglodyte.
Fucking game companies just don't have the balls anymore to fucking do anything that's like so amazing as shit. You know?
Yeah, not really. I mean, like, to make like something that's good artistically, you really have to have like a lot of passion in what you're doing and like a lot of it's not an easy thing, like it's really not. It's
Yeah.
So they kind of just have like been manufacturing art. Like they're just kind of just trying to churn out the same thing. They're not really trying to be groundbreaking or anything, is what I'm trying to point out.
Yeah.
Because they don't really need to. So
Yeah, they have a cult following that are literally.
Because I mean, back when games were like really niche and stuff, like in the 90s and stuff, games were super niche. Like you really only had like really particular nerds who really cared about games like a lot, like to this level. So they kind of just exploded and just became kind of like what movies are now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I will say the only scene that I've seen like any actual innovation has only been the indie scene at this point.
Well, yeah, because that's still like just independent. That's the same thing as it was before back in the old days, where it's just like 1 or 2 people. Sometimes even just like literally one guy making an entire game.
Yeah.
For
And
example,
that's like it.
like Lethal Company, they've made their game really fucking good.
That guy was a Roblox developer.
He's also yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One game that I really liked from the indie developer is literally one guy that made it was A Dark Place. That game was awesome.
A Dark
Place.
A Dark Place, yeah. It's what's it?
I know they put the Clock Tower games on Steam, but that's I don't think they really did anything with them
Yeah,
other
I
than
think it's literally the same game. They just put wallpaper in the
yeah,
background now.
yeah.
Yeah, literally.
They also remade Silent Hill. I don't know anything about that. Apparently people like it though.
They literally just copy and paste the old game and then
I know, it's like it's really not like people get so happy when they do it, but it's like it's the same thing though. Like it's literally the same game. Like it's not like it's something brand new.
It has the same function, same animation, everything. It's just it's just more beautiful. That's it.
Yeah, they just up the graphics a little bit. There you go.
I feel like they just want to put the graphics and the art like just very beautiful, but everything else is just functional.
Is it really beauty though? Because it's more about like making it realistic.
That is
It's
true.
That is it. Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
Like people think, oh, it's realistic, so now it's like more mature or something like that. It's
Yeah.
just like
It's ridiculous.
like you see the same thing in like a lot of the Disney remakes. Like you see it in they're making Mufasa.
Yeah,
and
not
the
doing
thing too is like
anymore. It's just live action bullshit.
yeah, I was about to say they're making them live action, like even the animated films, and it's like you're literally transforming over to like a whole new art form. Like you've got to like that's like weird. It's like really jarring to have like that Lion King live action thing
that
from like
really bizarre.
yeah, it was. It's like terrible. It's like why?
Yeah, like I don't know how people could be like take their kids or kids being excited to see that. Like it's like you look at the cartoon and like I could imagine kids being excited for that because it looks nice. It's a beautiful movie. The original like Lion King.
It literally transcends time because the art style. It's literally the art style that carries it.
Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't need to be realistic for it to be good. Honestly, if it being realistic just shortens the life of it.
It does. I mean, it looks bad to me already. It doesn't look like a good movie. So
yeah, and they tried to do something like independent, like new or like original with I think what was that called, like Wish or something. I heard that was terrible.
Oh yeah, supposedly there was like AI writers on it. There's like
really? Oh my god!
No!
Wow.
The content farms are real, bro.
Oh god!
ChatGPT, write me a original Disney story.
I just want to say I don't know if they use AI or not. All right,
I'm sure that they probably used it for assistance, which is still bad because it's like
there's one movie I could think of that have used AI, but only for like just to like make it more like realistic, like Indiana Jones and
They've
fourth
murdered Indiana Jones. They've been murdered.
I never even watched the new movie.
I've seen the originals. They're not the greatest, but they're
the originals.
I do like the originals. They're classics no matter what. I just after watching for countless hours, it's just like
okay, yeah. To be fair, if you watch it too much after a while, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's just like it's like whatever.
Yeah, I love the Indiana Jones movies. Like the original Lucasfilms ones are great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I actually remember one of I think it was my grandma took me to the theaters to see Crystal Skull when it came out.
Oh
and
my god,
it was bad, man. It wasn't good.
It
wasn't good.
Oh my god.
Ever have Sam Witwicky as your son?
Who actually made? Do you know who made the Crystal Skull one? Was that Lucasfilm still? I don't think it was.
I don't think so.
Disney. I think Disney had acquired it. But
that's why it's garbage.
Anything Disney touches, it's just garbage. That's it.
Yeah.
At this point, yeah.
You're seeing that with all these corporations. Like they're getting all these like random independent artists just to sell out, just so they can buy it, and then they're just gonna make it garbage.
The one good example is the fucking I think there was this one game that like had like 5 rewards or some shit, and then the Xbox just butchered it, and it's fucking I think it's a company or something like that. I forgot what's it called, but it's a really good game, and a lot of people liked it.
The director for Indiana Jones was Steven Spielberg.
No way.
Yeah,
No way.
Steven Spielberg?
and it's produced by Frank Marshall. So
On the Crystal
Yeah.
Skull?
yeah, the
Yeah,
Crystal
Crystal
Skull.
Skull.
Really?
I
Steven
just never
Spielberg.
expected that.
I did not. I've never seen a bad Spielberg movie, but I guess I have now.
yeah.
Story-
God,
Story's written by George Lucas and Jeff Nathanson.
Mm.
who?
Jeff Nathanson, but and George Lucas. They both were writers for the Crystal Skull.
Oh man,
They were-
on some
oh.
fucking T&D or some shit. I don't know what the fuck they were smoking.
All right, Mr.
They made
Harrison Ford.
its money back though, because it cost 185 million to make, and
Yeah,
it grossed 79
That's
million.
the thing, though. Like
190
most
million.
of these like garbage films that you don't even hear. Like, let me throw like an example. Like Kung Fu Panda 4 was like the 5th like grossing movie of like 2023 or 2020.
Oh no way, really?
But yeah, but like who the fuck knows about that? Like that's what I'm saying. Like all these movies, people are just watching them and they're like giving them money blindly. Like they're not even good. That's what I'm saying. Like they're just rehashing the same garbage.
yeah,
And they're making money from it, so they keep doing it. That's what I'm saying.
yeah. That's true. My dad literally went to go watch some of those movies. Just
That's
because
what I'm
he-
saying. It's
he
the same
remembered
thing
the
for
names.
games.
So yeah, that is true.
People are just mindlessly consuming it and they're not even thinking about it anymore. Like me personally, like I'm sure like most of you guys probably just don't even give a shit about games or movies. You might like watch like one thing and even then like pirate it, like because that's what I do. But it's like
Allegedly,
not going-
allegedly, guys,
I'm not-
allegedly.
allegedly in Minecraft, pirated a
In
movie in Minecraft in Minecraft mod.
Oh, I do that in Gary's mod.
Yeah, Gary's mod Minecraft.
Yeah, but like fucking yeah, it's like no one who the fuck goes to the movies anymore? Why would you go to the movie theater anymore? The movies are terrible. And it's like it's expensive too.
Yeah, it is.
Eh,
Me and my buddy, we went to watch fucking Deadpool and Wolverine. It was like fucking $20 to $30. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
it's
It's
so
so
expensive, yeah.
It is so
And
expensive.
then the concession stands are way more than they ever been.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's really where they make most of their money is just that.
I will say again with like the movies, like the only reason you'd even want to go there is for like the independent films again, if they even like show them there, because some of those independent films are still pretty decent.
Yeah, you can have like the off like really low budget film that some director did that's like really good. I know like when that Chappie movie blew up and stuff like that was a low budget film
Yeah.
technically. And like District 9, I remember that was a low budget film. That was
Oh.
popular.
Yeah.
That was a good movie, like in my opinion. Honestly, like I think that like captures like how the aliens would just be like, all right, we're chilling here on Earth in fucking South Africa, out of all fucking places.
They were black guys. Come on, let's be honest.
Nice.
Hey man, we're just migrating to a new world. Except you know they're racist to us.
God damn.
God damn.
Mhm.
And then like extension from that, I don't really know. Like I've only watched like a little bit of anime, but I've seen like
oh, the
the
anime
same
scene
thing-
is getting.
I've seen that the
massacred
same
right now.
thing exists. Yeah, where it's just like a bunch of.
Glory
But,
slot,
okay,
yeah.
I think it's also like a product of like how the Japanese do shit because they are really not. I'll be honest, they're really good at refining like one thing, but they're not really good at like going outside of that one thing usually. Like, you know,
Yeah.
they don't really go outside of their comfort zone like that much. They are just like really good at just refining like one thing.
I
And
feel
it's
like
And also having fetishes, let's be honest. A lot of those fucking anime.
okay, well that's different.
that's animes.
That's not all of them, but yeah, that is
But
a
like
large
yeah,
amount.
there have been some really good anime that I've seen that are like really good, like really really good. Very good.
I guess
Yeah.
we can use this as a segue to that. You guys want to talk about Evangelion?
Yeah, man.
Evangelion.
Has Max seen it?
I have not seen it. No.
He's never seen it.
He's the only one who hasn't.
All I know is big giant robots.
Evangelion, I guess where I can like start is like whenever I watched it, because like I watched it without any expectation at all. I literally just knew the funny like intro song, you know, the OP.
Wait, Nuker, can we say that it's your first anime too, right? Just to like.
Yes,
very
yeah,
first
that was
anime,
literally the first anime I'd ever watched like fully.
That is definitely a one to start with.
Yeah, I found that out pretty quickly because because I was like I went into it with no expectations and like the first anime I'd ever watched. And I'm watching it and it honestly starts out like normal, like really understandable normal like type stuff. Like, you know, Shinji picks up a phone, he gets groomed by Misato, and then he gets in a mech, you know.
Yeah.
And it sets it up pretty like quickly and puts a nice bow on it, basically that like, okay, you got to keep fighting these monster things that they keep calling angels or whatever. You know, makes sense. And it keeps going with that, but where it really throws you off, obviously, and I think like everyone will agree, is the last 2 episodes are when it really throws you off because, like, you know, in the anime they basically ran on a budget and they just like they summarize it in a weird way, and it's really kind of confusing to understand. It was kind of weird for me to understand, but I mostly got it. But it's like that's the most jarring thing about it is just kind of like, I mean, it sets it up like you obviously tell that like, you know, weird stuff is going on, and then like basically what's for the most part what's happening, but there's a lot of things that are unexplained, like, you know, what is Lilith and all that. Like, you don't really completely understand what that is.
Yeah, and there's obviously things happen in the background
I
that
think
we don't know yet.
Yeah, I think Evangelion is a really interesting one because it is almost like you could actually just take the entire setting part out of it and it wouldn't really matter if you think about it, because the whole point of the anime is really around the characters and the characters kind of going off of each other. That's really what it's That's really what it is. Yeah. That's like the main part of it.
All I know,
cuz like you have Shinji, he's like a little, you know, impressionable pussy 14-year-old. And he's got and then he's got Misato, who's like almost 30, who's like she's trying to be a mother for him, but she doesn't really know how. It's kind of sad, honestly. And she doesn't really know how to make him happy, but she tries to. But she also like is like, you know, the world's kind of like, we're kind of fucked if this kid doesn't like, you know, fight these things, and he's like really good at it. So it's like she's got to like keep him from killing himself, but also making sure that he still like tries to do something. And it's like weird. And then Asuka is just kind of an asshole, but it's like
that's expected.
She likes Shinji. She likes Shinji, but she can't admit it because she's kind of just a narcissist.
She's a German woman, that's why.
Yeah, and then Ray is just Ray.
Ray is just
Ray is just empty head.
Empty head.
And so it's like, yeah.
Oh man, I feel so depressed, man. Can you inspire me? You're retarded.
Okay. Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, Evangelion is definitely an interesting one to start out with, anime wise. But I mean, it's good. It is good.
It's unsurprisingly
it's pretty good.
Long now because of the movies and then the what are the other ones called? The
rebuilds or whatever.
Yeah.
Rebuilds.
Yeah, they're weird because
But talking about like, you know, the whole aspect that we were going off earlier in this podcast on like originality and willing to experiment, Evangelion was like a work of art in that regard, where it was like kind of like subverting the whole like mecha anime, where it like starts off as like, you know, as you kind of like mentioned before, it's just kind of like a kid with a robot, and he's
Mhm.
like fighting monsters, and as the show goes on, it like progressively deteriorates and
Mhm.
like breaks down whatever that genre was for like the
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mecha
Gundams,
series.
yeah.
And it's not just about the mechs. Like it's all about the characters. The mechs
Mhm.
are, I don't want to spoil the series, but the mechs are significant, and their connection to the main characters is meaningful in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
And I want to say a lot of things in that show have a lot of meaning, and
Well,
they do.
the
there's a
reason
lot of subtleties, and like you can rewatch the anime, and like you'll like catch those details, and
Mhm.
it's a very rewatchable anime because of that. And a large portion of why that anime is like largely contributed to being so um like I guess original is because like Anno, the director who like helmed the project, was like supposedly going through like depression or something like
yeah, he
that.
was going through
And there was this
yeah.
like whole budget issue too with animating the entire series where they didn't have enough money to like really animate the last two episodes, so they did that whole like experimental uh trippy psychedelic abstract finale, and it's like very very mind-boggling to have that as like your finale,
Mhm.
because it's just like going full force. If you watch the anime, it's just like bam, it just kind of stops and it just
Mhm.
turns into like pure abstraction.
Mhm.
It's a pretty interesting way to like just end your
I,
series.
I will say it does kind of remind me with what happens with Berserk. If you guys ever watched the anime or read the manga, because it's um I don't it's not the same way where it's like a like twink little 14-year-old boy fighting mechs, but with the way it not concludes, but the arc finishes is just like surprising because you don't really. If you read the manga, you would know more, but in the anime itself,
Yeah,
you don't really
yeah,
know about the demons and stuff like that. You just think it's like, oh, it's these guys that these
I think it's
mercs.
the same thing for Evangelion as well. If like, because I think you mentioned that, Richard, like before, where like the um the manga for Evangelion is like kind of different than
yeah.
the
It's a
anime.
lot
Like it
different.
explains more, and like that's always going to be a thing when you adapt it to like an animation or like film type thing, because it's like you can't just over explain everything like you can in a book, because it's like that's just going to be annoying if you have like just a bunch of exposition where a character just explains everything instead of just showing it. You can't like show everything, so it's like you
Yeah,
gotta condense it a little bit.
I will
For
say
ex-
I will say with the animations, a lot of the explanation in the book, you don't need to worry as much because a lot of it has to do with like detail. I know they do the drawings in the manga too, so you can see the scenery. But with the anime itself, they can show more with the scenery, so there's a little bit less to explain. But there's a lot of details still that they still can add because of that.
so
Yeah.
for example, fucking Akagi, you know how they
Oh, Kagi's
over
so good. Oh my god.
they over explain it on how Mojang works.
Yeah, but they do it in a way where it's fun. The version that sucks is the live adaptation version, which is funny because we were just talking about how the remakes suck, and yeah, the remake for that's so fucking boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, Evangelion, I will say that yeah, the next couple times I watched it, like I was kind of explaining it from when I initially watched it. The next few times I watched it, um it did it did make more sense, some things.
Yeah, this
Cause
stuff.
it's like that anime is like really heavy with how much like stuff it hits you with. Like it has like there's so much stuff that it's
Yeah,
like almost overwhelming.
yeah, it's definitely one of the ones where you have to rewatch it so you can fully understand everything. Because there's a lot of
Yeah,
details that.
if you care enough about it, yeah.
Yeah, there's some details you straight up just miss on their first run because you're just not, you don't think it's really gonna like be important, but it turns out, oh fuck, it's actually really important. Fuck.
Yeah.
So yeah, Same thing with Berserk. There's a lot of subtle hints in the anime. In the manga, they kind of just straight up like explain it. But in the anime, there's really subtle
Well, in
hints
a
about it.
book, that makes sense because
Yeah,
you have a lot more to like go with.
yeah.
A lot more to work with.
But yeah, with the anime series, there's subtle hints. They don't really fully show anything, and then until you hit the end, and it's just like, oh fuck. That's yeah, it's bad. It's Berserk is a good read or watch. You guys definitely should check that out.
Bazoink.
But Zoinkies.
Like Zoink Scoot,
Bazoink.
let's get out of here.
I would ask Richard what he thought about Berserk as well, but he's AFK at the moment.
Ban him from the podcast.
Yeah, ban him, ban him.
You're banned from
He's
the
banned, boys.
podcast.
It's over. Goodbye. No. I guess we can go to our last topic. I don't remember what the last topic is, honestly.
We were talking about like games and like movies, but I mean, this kind of already enough has already been said on that, but like I
Yeah.
don't know.
Actually, you know what? I know this is from like a previous podcast, but I'm curious. What is your favorite game of all time?
Game.
Yeah, or game series, either or.
Oh, my favorite game's easily TF2. Like
Mm.
Team Fortress 2 is great.
Okay.
I love that game because TF2 is like the perfect kind of synergy of like it's function. It's kind of like it's almost like Halo because you know how Halo is like it has that really good soundtrack and that really good story that goes with it.
Yeah.
That just whenever you play the multiplayer and stuff that just kind of enhances it, and also the multiplayer is like balanced because like the weapons make sense and they didn't just like throw a bunch of random weapons in there for no reason like they do with a lot of games. Like they
Yeah.
all make sense, but TF2 is kind of like a little bit like that for me, where it's like the characters are like fun and stuff enough to where it's like funny and shit, but it's also like the art style is like really good. It's like that
Yeah.
really cool, like almost like 70s, 50s, 60s, like kind of like art style mixed with like cartoony stuff, like that really like stylistic like Bond type
Yeah, yeah.
feel is
Yeah.
really good, and like the jazz music and all that's in TF2. That's just all that stuff is like really important for games because like not a lot of new games really like care about that stuff as much, but that's like a big deal
Yeah.
about it. It makes
Literally,
them
that
fun.
stuff adds to the atmosphere, which creates like an
Yeah,
atmosphere that makes it more fun to
it's the same
play.
thing as like a show or like a movie. Like all the set pieces and stuff are like really
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. A
But
lot. Yeah. Nowadays they don't care as much. It's very,
not
very
really.
bland.
AAA
Yeah.
games, absolutely, yeah, no, they do not care.
They can give a
But
fuck about actually making good music or doing good
but
sound
like
design.
TF2 from like gameplay, and then if you want to just like go purely on gameplay, the game's like great because there's like a bunch of variety of stuff you can do, and then like the game is pretty balanced for the most part. I mean, sure, you could say there's some stuff that's like annoying or less balanced, but it's still like pretty good for the most part. And it's just like there's such a high skill ceiling for it too. Like all of the classes have like a really high skill ceiling.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that
definitely.
kind of just makes it fun.
Took me fucking forever to get like remotely decent with rocket jumping as soldier, because majority of the time I just played pyro, and then I tried soldier, and goddamn, it was not
Yeah,
easy.
I mean the arguably the class that has the lowest skill
It's pyro.
ceiling. No, because I play sniper. Because
Uh,
all sniper is really just aim. There is some movement and there is positioning on certain maps. That is a pretty big deal. But like sniper is literally just pretty much like, I mean, if you can aim, you're good on that class.
Hold up. We might have to end the session here. Richard, can you talk, or are you
Yeah,
away?
I'm here.
Okay.
We don't have to end the session. I mean,
We're passing the 40-minute mark. That's usually where we stop. So if you want to stop here, it's fine.
you sure?
I mean, we still have that last topic that I can't fucking remember, so we can go off of that if
It's
you
the
want.
Thanksgiving one.
Thanksgiving.
Oh, Thanksgiving! Thank you! I forgot! Oh,
Okay, yeah. I mean,
before,
we can do this for like 10 minutes, but I should go.
before you go, then can you give me your opinion on Berserk?
Oh yeah, I give you my opinion on Berserk. So this is how I feel about Berserk. You know, because you mentioned the manga and the anime. I've seen both. I think both are phenomenal. And when I say both, in regards to the anime,
Talking about the
I mean
original
the
version, right?
1997. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the remakes
I
or the
love
movies that they made.
2016. It's so good. It's
Uh,
so good.
uh,
Fuck.
those are very unfortunate to have been made. But anyways, it was like mentioned earlier about how like there's this difference between the anime and the manga, and I think there is a huge difference between both of them. I think the anime, the impact of the conclusion for what's called the Golden Age arc, which is all it adapts,
Yeah.
is done in a very impactful way. It hits really hard,
Yeah.
and they do it in a very optimal way. Because they do cut things from the manga.
Yeah, they had to because there's only like 12 episodes. It's very short.
Yeah, it's a really short anime, and they do the most with it, which is
Yeah.
why I say it's a very optimal anime. Because those very deep and powerful scenes that occur throughout it, they hit just as hard as they do as in the manga. And of course, I highly recommend both. But I will say the manga is better. And I'll say that the only reason why I feel like the impact of the conclusion for the Golden Age arc in the anime is stronger is because it doesn't have like this looming, doesn't have the looming essence or the early like precursor of like saying this is what the world looks like.
Yeah, from the manga, because like
Yeah.
again, they had less to work with the anime adaptation, but I feel like that's the main reason why it was so good, because like they only give you like little hits here and there. Like yeah, the first episode kind of spoils it, not gonna lie, but like
Yeah.
you don't you watch that first episode and you're like, what the fuck is going on, and then it's just normal all of a sudden, and then you forget
Yeah.
about it going through it, and then like kind of like near the end you see those Ferratu, whatever his name is, and then
Yeah.
it brings back that like the what happened kind of
Mm-hmm.
well, the situation that happened in the first episode, but then you forget about it again because they treat it like it's nothing, and you just forget
Yeah.
about it, and then the whole thing was, I'm not gonna spoil it, Griffith, and then the fucking big reveal at the end just throws you off so hard because it's barely like anything. You think it's just the mercenary group and that's it. You think that's basically it with the whole thing, and no, it's so much more.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's very I guess traumatizing.
It is very traumatizing. I saw it as an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
I will never forget it.
But it's looming and it's there. If you're like paying close attention. But I just feel like it's more apparent in the manga.
Yeah, they kind of
Uh,
have to.
yeah, and it's like a lot of things are a lot more ominous in the manga, where it's just like something very terrible is going to happen, and whatever that is, it changes the world because it the epilogue or the prologue is a little bit longer than in the anime, so
Yeah.
it's like it really sets you up for like what exactly causes this, and there's this like whole like
It's
dispute between Guts versus Griffin in the beginning. It's a really good scene.
it's the manga definitely has a very interesting start to the whole series.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That first page is
Yeah, it's
really funny.
Yeah, I've recommended it to people before, and they're like,
What the
"Oh,
fuck is this?
yeah." I forget that scene's in there. The
That's
first
literally
panel.
the first page, dude.
Yeah,
It was 25 episodes, by the way. I'm wrong.
I mean, to me, that's still short.
That's
for
like-
how much they
yeah.
do.
Yeah, that's usually like average length for anime, though, isn't it?
No,
About
usually
26?
12 to 13.
Oh,
Yeah.
So they actually did pretty good to get it that long, but it's still kind of like, it's still normal.
All right. Well, I gotta go. So
Alright,
bye.
see ya,
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
My co-host quit. He gave me his papers of resignation.
All right. Yeah. This is I'm not resigning from the podcast.
Nuker's
I'm
the
not
new
resigning.
co-host. Yeah, it's
No,
so
no, you
Jover,
can't do
guys.
this
It's
to
so
me.
Jover.
No.
He gave him his green card now.
We did.
Nice.
How do you feel about it now, Nuker?
I don't think I'm ready for the responsibility yet.
Alright, I'll see you. Richard.
I'll see you guys later.
Bye.
That was my phenomenon.
No,
Or
right.
should I say
Fucking traitor. Bye.
Goodbye.
Alright, well, I guess we can finish up with the Thanksgiving. I don't really have too much to talk about except for the
food.
colonizers gave the Indians blankets with diseases, and yeah, there you go.
I was gonna talk about the food mostly, but okay.
Yeah, I don't actually know much about Thanksgiving history really, but
I remember some of it.
I know that like the thing that I was going to talk about is how like basically they've made Christmas like so commercialized and everything. And they can't really do that with Thanksgiving, so they just skip most like stores and things. They just skip Thanksgiving entirely and just like immediately go with like Black Friday, which is I think after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, right after.
And then
Christmas.
And then yeah, just Christmas like immediately because they can't really do anything with it.
Yeah, or they'll start it in fucking September or October.
Oh, Cooter's on. You should bring him in.
Oh my god! All right, we can have him for like the last.
You should do it for the like last couple.
Yeah, I'm going.
Oh my god!
Hurry up,
ladies and gentlemen. If you have never met this man,
but basically that's really all I was gonna bring up about Thanksgiving. That like basically it's just skipped now.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck about. Honestly,
yeah, because they can't market it, and it's also because like think about it. Christmas used to be what Thanksgiving is like still, because basically what Thanksgiving still is, it's really just a family thing. Honestly, that's really what it is. Ultimately, because it's like basically just like eat food with family. That's it, and that used to be what really Christmas was mainly about. Honestly, it still is, but like
I mean, it's not as much. Honestly, it's more about
yeah. Yes. So it's like that's kind of like. What I'm saying is like they can't really market just like being with your fucking family because that's a normal human thing and companies hate that, don't they?
Yeah, they hate. That's what I was gonna say. They don't want to normalize families anymore and like companies.
No, they don't.
Things. They want to get rid.
They want like the opposite. They want you to like basically just mindlessly consume
stuff. Yeah, that's
mindlessly consume everything. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that sounds
dumb.
stupid as
your gore
shit.
slop, boys.
Yeah.
Do you like your turkey?
Eat the slop.
Do you want to eat this turkey? Eat it.
Jax, what do Mexicans do during Thanksgiving like at all? Do you well obviously it's like an American thing, so like I know that you don't care about it, but
I mean we still do things. It's just that guess who's in here?
Oh no! Here it comes.
Someone tell him to join the chat. I gotta give him the role real quick.
I'm gonna. Oh my god! Immediately.
Oh my god! Guys, listen.
Oh
listen.
shit!
Oh boy!
You can just leave the podcast now. You don't have to listen to this part.
Introducing Cutarius. Cutarius, what are your beginning remarks to the world?
The industrial society and its problems have been a disaster for the human race.
Why is that?
Because white women have the right to vote.
Oh boy.
Oh god, it's so Jover.
So this is our phenomenon podcast, boys.
So this is going to be your last episode before you get banned from Twitch.
Welcome our boy, our special guest. He's literally special mentally. Yeah, Kutorius.
Mentally and physically.
Clitorius. That's my new name. That's a good name.
Kutorius.
What is your professional opinion on modern AAA gaming?
I think that they don't have enough diversity and trans inclusion in them, and that it should be more.
You know, he's right. He's bought every
Doom Eternal. I want the Revenant in Doom Eternal to be a trans woman now, so that when I fuck, it's inclusive. You know,
it's inclusive. Oh my god! You play every fucking Bethesda game or whatever the fuck they call themselves now.
You played Starfield.
And I will say that the game is garbage, but the ship combat and building was pretty cool.
Okay,
but for $60,
so the entire game sucks except for two things.
Yes, exactly. Look, you gotta look at the small things.
Why don't you play that other space game? What the fuck was that one called? It's
literally what I did is I went and I played that. I'm like, man, this fucking sucks. And then I went and I bought Star Sector, which is the one that Seth reviewed. And that one is literally everything that is, but better.
Oh
my god.
Yeah, it's really good.
You haven't played Stalker 2 yet, sweetie. You should play.
No, I don't have a PC that can fucking run it because
true.
Dude, just
you could run it on lower settings, but yeah.
You know,
no,
if you turn DLSS
it's still not gonna
on,
run at fucking. My biggest thing is it's got to run at 60 frames and be somewhat like okay looking.
Listen,
I don't like how DLSS does that because I would much rather it. I don't know. I'm pretty picky because it makes my fucking eyes hurt.
Well, then if you get a beefier computer, you can just turn it off.
You literally have like the fucking 4090. You just let me finish building, you piece of shit.
Okay, well, I think you should just end it here.
Yeah, there's really nothing much more to
Cooter had his grand introduction.
Yeah, this is the last episode.
Can I say the yet, or we be on?
Alright, hold on. Let me do the ending, and then right before I end it, you can say it, okay?
May I please say?
Alright, guys. Well, this is the end of our Phenomenon podcast. There's not going to be any more episodes. This is it. I'm glad you guys joined us for the ride. Max, do you have any final remarks?
How many?
Okay. Do you have any?
Remember, everyone. Always follow in the footsteps of God. Always have God in your heart.
Yes.
Amen.
Okay.
Alright, guys. That's it. Goodbye.
Give us another inspiration for the Bible.
Say it.